Hello friends, today we are going to talk a little bit about our book, Miss Moore Thought Otherwise. So make sure that you have already read or listened to the story. We're going to point out a few words in this story that are multiple meaning words, which means that they are two words that have the same sound and the same spelling, but they have two different meanings. A couple of words that I wanted to point out to you is the word wild. So if you look at the word wild, it has two meanings. Wild could mean you're kind of going crazy, jumping around, having a great time, running around. So it's kind of like wild and crazy. It can also mean an animal that cannot be domesticated, which means an animal that can only live in the wild. It could not be a pet and it could not live in your house. So we can refer to someone being wild and crazy, or we can talk about an undomesticated animal. Another word that is a multiple meaning word that we can see in our story is on page 15. So it says, she saw that many librarians did not let children touch the books for fear that they would smudge their pages or break their spines. So let's talk about the word spines. We know that in our bodies we have a spine, and it's in our back. It's that long piece that goes up our back. So that's our bones within our body. The word spines can also refer to the spine of a book. That's the part of the book that holds it together. So just like our spine kind of goes up our back and helps us sit up straight, the spine of a book right here keeps the book together. It holds all the pages together and keeps them all connected. So we have two meanings for the word spine. We could talk about the spine, like the bones in our body, or the spine of a book that holds it all together. You're going to have an assignment on Seesaw about multiple meaning words. So after you watch this video, make sure you go over to Seesaw and complete that activity. We're also going to talk about synonyms and antonyms. So remember, synonyms are the same, and that SS is kind of how I remember that. Synonyms, same. So those are two very different words that have the same meaning or a very similar meaning, such as the word delicious and scrumptious. I could use those words interchangeably, which means I could say that cinnamon roll was delicious, or I could say that cinnamon roll was scrumptious, and my sentence means the same thing. Other synonyms are start and begin, pretty and lovely, quick and fast, large and enormous, scared, frightened, tired, sleepy, thick, ill, bring, carry, woman, lady, rich, wealthy, smart, and intelligent. So if you notice, all of these words have almost the same meaning I could switch them out in a sentence. I could use one word or I could use the other. Then I have antonyms, which mean opposite. So kind of the way I remember that is antonyms and opposite both start with a vowel. They don't start with the same letter, but antonym starts with an A and opposite starts with an O, so they both start with a vowel. So I remember that antonyms are opposites, like left and right. These words cannot be used interchangeably. If I use one, then that has a completely different meaning than if I use the other. I could say, this classroom is or I could say I'm speaking very loud, or I could say I'm speaking very soft. In one way, I'm going to mean that I'm very loud, I'm speaking loudly, or I'm going to say I'm speaking softly or more quietly. I could not switch out those words and still have the same meaning. We have fast and slow, several and few. Remember, several means like a group of objects, and few means just a couple, two or three. We have front and back, last and first, older, younger, nervous, brave, early, late, serious, silly, sharp, dull, full, empty. So think about how those words have completely opposite meanings. You will also have a Seesaw assignment about synonyms and antonyms to complete. So as you go over to Seesaw, make sure you look for your multiple meaning words and your synonyms and antonyms assignment.